The Computer 2000 problem. It's not something that grabs the headlines every day, but it is in fact a profound challenge, not only for the United States, but for every country, which is every country now, that has extensive reliance on computers. We can help share information and do everything we can to make sure that when the new millennium starts, it's a happy event and not a cyberspace headache.
25 billion microchips. We're a nation run by 25 billion microchips. What if they failed?
This thing could affect police, it could affect fire, emergency service, hospitals, financial institutions, all your banking. This could be a mess.
What bothers me is there a plan? And who's in charge of that plan?
25 billion microchips. Our economy, it could be in danger. Our health and safety, it could be at risk. Our public services, chaos.
Well, it's a scary thought that we've relied on technology to this point, that we're in this situation.
The scary part about it, a lot of people haven't even thought about it.
25 billion microchips. What if they failed? Our ability to solve even simple problems would suddenly be gone. The truth is, if the technology we've worked so hard to create fails, if the technology we've used as a tool for prosperity fails, the things we've created to serve us well become our master.
For all I know, it's probably going to affect me at my job because I work on a computer every day.
Everything in our life is based today, on some form of computer and information. When that breakdown starts to occur, I think the implications are going to be pretty significant.
25 billion microchips. The bottom line, if they fail, it's an electronic ice age. It may happen, but we can prevent it. The problem is very real. It's called the Millennium Bug, or the year 2000 problem. We call it Y2K. It's easy to understand. During the early days of computers, programmers saved storage space by recording dates using only the last 2 digits of the year. But when the new century begins, computers won't know the difference between 1901 and 2001. And that's the problem. At midnight, December 31st, 1999, some systems will malfunction. Some will stop working.
There's a wonderful spiritual that has the line, God gave Noah the rainbow sign, and there were floods, and he prepared. Today, the techies have given us a double digit or a digital sign, and we've got to prepare and anticipate and act in order to deal with the year 2000 problem.
Obviously, if we have a big problem, it would be a lot simpler to know that you've got all that stuff backed up someplace and then try to ensure that the conversions and so forth take place after the big magic date arrives.
For local governments, computers run transit systems, track criminals, control waste treatment, manage power companies.
I wish I could say that all public officials understand today the urgency of the year 2000 issue and their impact on their own local economy. I'm afraid I have to say no.
If services like water supply systems and traffic control systems, sewage disposal systems begin to fail, not to mention the financial systems at all, the confidence citizens have in their government is going to be even further eroded.
Computers control billing, payroll, personnel. The list seems almost endless.
How are we going to handle elections? How are we going to handle registration for elections? How are we going to handle licensing? How are we going to handle our treasurer office? How do we handle law enforcement issues?
It affects police operations, dispatch operations. It affects being able to pump diesel fuel into trucks. So it affects a wide variety of things. Elevators in many buildings rely on embedded chips that have time-sensitive systems. All of this has to be checked out.
The role that we're playing is not only letting the community know that we're addressing the issue, but also connecting with the other elements of the community, whether it's business, the nonprofit sector, other levels of government. It's imperative that we are addressing this issue, modeling and taking a leadership role.
The challenge is the same for local business. The Y2K problem can impact trade and the ability to deliver goods and services across the country or across town. But there is good news. The Y2K problem is not difficult to solve. Many local governments have anticipated the problem and developed workable solutions to the millennium bug. In fact, some local governments have fixed the problem. We call them Y2K compliant. Others are on schedule to have the problem fixed by the new millennium.
We did an inventory of all of our systems. We hired a project manager to oversee the project. We also hired a vendor to convert our code.
First thing we did was look at public safety. We went to police and fire because we knew that's where we were probably most vulnerable and where the public would be least tolerant of any problems or glitches or lack of a breakdown in service.
The National Association of Counties, the National League of Cities, the International City-County Management Association, working together with their technology arm, Public Technology Incorporated, they've begun an educational campaign called Y2K You.
First, you educate the public officials, the elected and appointed leaders. They, in turn, can educate the citizens within their communities.
The Y2K You campaign has developed a list of 5 questions that every city, town, and county needs to ask about the year 2000 millennium bug.
Is your community Y2K compliant? Notice I didn't say is your county, city, or town Y2K compliant. It is your community, and each of these questions will look at the broader community and not just the local government. What are the consequences of Y2K for your community? Number 3, can your community fix the problem before January 1st, 2000? Number 4, do you have sufficient resources in your community to solve this problem? And if not, do you know where to go? And lastly, number 5, what contingency plans have been made to deal with the effects of Y2K?
Leadership is being provided by local officials to keep communities running strong in the year 2000. Local officials are unique. They are in a position to bring business and government together at the most fundamental level.
I think most issues of governance are leadership issues. This is very internal to the operation of the city government. The citizens in my community expect us to deliver good quality, high efficient services. They expect us to identify the issues or problems that interfere with service delivery. And so it really is a management problem.
And I think by coming together, it's the economies of scales. We're able to produce a much better product, give them better solutions to their problems, and let them know what they're going to have to do if, in fact, they don't solve this problem by the year 2000.
We are launching the Y2K You campaign. This campaign, which will be directed by Public Technology, Inc., is designed to make public officials, elected and appointed, aware of the millennium bug's impact and help local governments ensure that their communities are Y2K compliant.
25 billion microchips. We're a nation run by 25 billion microchips. What if they failed?
Seems to be this Armageddon hanging over our heads in terms of that the world is going to end, planes are going to crash, elevators won't run. Basically, everything will stop.
25 billion microchips. Our economy, it could be in danger. Our health and safety, it could be at risk. Our public services, chaos.
It could be a heavy crash.
I think as it gets closer, we're getting more frightened about the impact that it will have.
25 billion microchips. The bottom line? If they fail, it's an electronic ice age. It may happen, but local officials can choose to prevent it if they act now.